This video is definitely not sponsored by Budweiser, but I fancy the beer. How's it going, everyone? Chris here, back with another video, and today we are doing a top 10 list. And today's top 10 list will be top 10 WWE games. And we will be talking about ones all the way from the PS2 all the way up to the new ones on the PlayStation 4. If your one is not in there, your favourites are not in there, in the comment section down below, how about you leave your top 10 list or just your favourite games, and we can have a little discussion about it. My first one, starting at number 10, I'm just jumping straight into this, and obviously before I start, obviously this one is purely for WWE fans and gaming fans, because obviously this is a specific sort of genre. Not everyone's going to like this, I understand that. So from time to time I will be doing the odd gaming video just to see whether people like it and stuff like that, because I'm a big gaming fan. I do play the PS4 a lot. I've always been playing PlayStations and Xboxes over the years, and so I want to kind of express that and do a bit of that on the channel here and there as well. So really hope you enjoy this, and let's start with number 10. So kicking things off, sorry, I need a bit more beer. I'm very thirsty tonight. Yeah, starting at number 10, we have SmackDown vs Raw 2008. Obviously, before I start, I just want to say none of these games on this list are bad, because there's a lot of WWE games which I haven't actually brought on this list at all. So every one on this list I love. Starting off with things, yes, like I said, SmackDown vs Raw 2008. The highlights from this one in particular for me were obviously General Manager mode. I played the hell out of this, because this was the first year they incorporated. Now this was the first year they had ECW in there as well, so that just switched everything up. You had the 3 brands on the game for the first time, and it was so good. I loved it so much, because you had people like Sabu, Tommy Dreamer, Sandman. They're the ones I can think of at the top of my head. And also you had some of the new ECW lot as well, like Elijah Burke. Honestly, it was so good. Right guys, coming in at number 9, just to let you know as well, I've only picked 2 games from the modern era. So 2 of these games are PlayStation 4 games, and so the first one comes in at number 9, and that one is WWE 2K18. Again, I can't really fault this game. I mean, WWE games are always criticised of being very similar. I mean, every year they bring a game out, and they haven't really changed much. But for me, out of the PlayStation 4, like the PlayStation 4 editions of the game, like SmackDown vs Raw 2K18 was the first really good one, because I think before that, 15, 16, and actually I didn't actually play 17, but well, not much anyway. I didn't actually own that one. But them ones, they felt so slow, and the characters, like the bodies, they just didn't. Something felt really off about it, and I don't know what it is. I just couldn't get my head around it. It felt really clunky. And I think 2K18, as much as it's still quite slow, and I still think the games are way before like this generation, that they should be coming out. Like the stuff they're producing, kind of like, I don't know, it should be a bit better. But I think 2K18 is honestly such a solid game. I can't really fault it in any way. So number 8, we have WWE All Star, and yeah, this one is a very different game compared to the last 2 that I just mentioned, because it was more a arcade beat 'em up style game, because it wasn't, there was nothing in that game that just you could take it seriously with. The characters, they were completely different shapes. You could kick someone and they go flying across the ring. It's very fast paced as well, so as soon as you knock someone down, they're practically straight back up again. They had like super finishers as well, so you hit the finisher, it does like about 20,000 moonsaults and things like that. You know, it was crazy, absolutely crazy how fast-paced and ridiculous that game was. But because it was so ridiculous and so fun, and it had, in my opinion, had a really good selection of characters as well for having like past and present. Honestly, what a game! I really enjoyed it. The one negative for it for me, it was the replayability. It was good for a bit, but afterwards it was the same sort of thing, because a lot of the characters had similar sort of moves and it got a bit stale. So that's why it's not further up on the list. Right guys, this next one, some people might not remember, but I really remember this one, because mainly for nostalgia, and there's another one which is in it for nostalgia as well, but for ages I couldn't decide which one I preferred more. So I went with this one, and this one was on the original Xbox as well. It was WrestleMania 21, the game. Again, I don't reckon people will remember this one, but for me, the one highlight that I can remember was just unlocking the characters. There wasn't loads of characters in the game, so when you unlocked one, it felt like a big deal. And the ones that I couldn't unlock, I would like purely play the Royal Rumble mode just so I could see them characters in action. So at the time, there were people like Andre the Giant and Bret Hart. They were the two main ones that I really wanted to unlock, but I wasn't skilled enough personally to get them. So I would play the Royal Rumble constantly just to see what I could, just so I could see their entrances, because it was so fun to me. I really enjoyed seeing them characters come out. Right, on to the next one, number 6, and we are going with WWE 13. And obviously this is not long after they ditched SmackDown vs Raw titles altogether and just started going from WWE. The one standout thing for this game was Attitude Era. What a mode. That was such a good mode. Obviously, Road to WrestleMania is always going to be like the best story type thing they've ever done, but not far off it was Attitude Era on this game in particular. I mean, the game after it, WWE 2K14, which actually wasn't made by 2K, was also a very good game because they had their Legends of WrestleMania mode. But I just thought WWE 13 was spot on. Right, guys, we are down to the last 5, and coming in at number 5 for me is SmackDown Here Comes the Pain on the PlayStation 2. This is the one that like most people should remember, like if you're an old school fan. This is the one that had Brock Lesnar on the cover looking awesome and that. Not the 2K17 cover, I'm on about the proper one. Like when Lesnar first debuted in the WWE, that sort of like look, it looked really like, what a cover, it's amazing. Like, I mean, first of all, like I say, it's stacked with like all the like amazing wrestlers like The Rock, Biker Undertaker, I believe Hogan might have been on it, Lesnar, Ultimo Dragon was on it, and what I love. The one standout thing for this game was the fact that it wasn't always isolated to the ring. Again, in later years they've done something like it, but never anything like this, because this one, you could actually leave the arena and you could go fight in the middle of a street, and you could climb a big billboard and jump off it and think, oh, what? It was just, I mean, it wasn't based on it was kind of cut where the Attitude Era was coming to an end, but it just screams Attitude Era all the way through, especially them modes in particular. I mentioned it in the last one about WWE 13 having a really good Attitude Era sort of feel, but Here Comes the Pain brings it to a whole nother level with the fact that you can just leave the arena. You can even get on the tube and go to a different state, oh wow, like why can't they do that now? When I look back to the times that I used to go on my dad's and they had the original Xbox there, there's the one WWE game that I think is my specific childhood. I never saw anybody else playing as one personally, and this one is really close to my heart, and it was only on the Xbox as well, the original Xbox, so if you didn't have an original Xbox, likely chances are you haven't played it. It was WWE Raw 2. Remember back on the PlayStation like 1 and 2 you had the SmackDown games? Well, over on the Xbox side of things you had Raw. And the first one was just, I think it was either just called Raw or Raw is War. I think it was just called Raw, and you had Raw 1 and Raw 2. And this one was way before its time. I mean, you know, nowadays you get the create a moveset. I mean, I can spend hours on that, like morphing the best like WWE superstar I can think of. But Raw 2 done all that before SmackDown vs Raw came about. It was I don't know what it was. They had their own moveset system, and the moves it had on it was so good. Like even the graphics for that game looked way before its time. Final 3, and number 3 is SmackDown vs Raw 2011. The only thing I have to say about this one is Road to WrestleMania. Yes, there was Road to WrestleManias before this, but this was the one year which I thought they made, and it was amazing. It was so good because I know I've mentioned in the past that obviously about Here Comes the Pain, you can leave the arena. This one, yeah, it's confined to the arena, but you pretty much get out of your car and you have sort of like a free roam element of it before you go to your match. So you can go to the general manager office and have a chat with him. You can chat with wrestlers backstage and you can get into like fights. Final 2, I remember I mentioned earlier that I had 2 games from the current era. The one before was 2K18, but this one is WWE 2K19. It was last year's game, and again, in my opinion, so far that one is personally the best one that they've done on current gen. 2K20, haven't even bought it. I know how much it's glitching at the moment, how much it's a flop. So I'm not even going to bother buying that one or even really mentioning it properly. But yeah, 2K19 is definitely the most solid one. They've been gradually getting better over years, other than up to 2K20. But yeah, 2K19, oh, it's really good. That's the one I still play it now. I've still got it in the living room actually. That's the one that I will turn on every now and again just to have a little go, a few matches, just a bit of a chill out sort of time. But yeah, that's honestly, I can't. I mean, people might disagree with me and they might say SmackDown, just bring it, and they probably think, why is that one not on my list? But out of Here Comes the Pain and Just Bring It, I wanted to pick one of them. So that's why I went with Here Comes the Pain. It's a better game. But yeah, WWE 2K19. A lot of people give it some hate just because like it's not as good as the old ones. But it's really enjoyable. And finally, this is. Did you see what I did there? I did the Rock thing. And finally, The Rock has come back. He hasn't really been waiting for a little while now. But the last game on my list, this is undoubtedly the best wrestling game of all time. And I know Jay will agree with me on this one, definitely. And that is WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. One thing I haven't really mentioned much through these are the soundtrack for the games. Like when you're on, like sitting in the menu, because a lot of time people must know you do sit in the menu quite a bit on these games, setting up the matches. If you are on Create a Moveset or Create a Superstar, you're listening to the music that they give you. These days, it's pretty awful. They don't really give you many songs, and so what I have to do, I have to go and turn on all the wrestler themes, so that play through them as well as the ones they give you. But back then, they didn't give you the option to have that. They didn't give you the option to put like Superstars entrance music on the menus and stuff. But the thing is, the music was so good, you didn't need to. Honestly, I would just sit in the menu, just listen to the songs, because wow, what a stacked playlist. And also, I just got to say, the game in general was the first one they had the Great Khali in, which was an ultra heavyweight superstar. It was the first one where if you jumped over the barrier, you had a little area where you could have a little like Extreme Rules match. And it was so good, you can climb up the scaffolding and jump off it. You had bins lying about left, right and centre. I believe it was the first one you could set fire to the table. Correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong on that one, but I'm sure in 2006 you couldn't. But again, correct me if I'm wrong. Yes guys, it was called Season Mode. That was the one where it had loads of cutscenes and stuff, and you could go to your locker and your locker room and you could customise it. You could have all the colours of ribbons on the walls. You could change the telly and everything, the carpet. You could actually customise the whole thing, have a little walk around in there. It was honestly such a good game, man. It had so much replayability. That was the one I played the most. Hell in a Cell on that game was crazy good. Again, the characters in that one, especially in that game in particular, compared to most years, was stacked. It was really good. Anyway, guys, that is my list. I will leave you with that. If you have a different list, leave it down in the comment section. I will definitely read it, and we can have a little bit of discussion about your favourite moments, your favourite wrestlers. Yeah, how about one question for you? Who is your favourite? One question for you. Who is your favourite wrestler? Leave it down below. I've been Chris as always. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Peace.